Hello friends, good afternoon. Welcome you all to this channel of the humanities, and in this video we are going to talk about Indian Polity syllabus of for the civil services examination, be it the UPSC or the state civil services examination, whether either one you are preparing for. This video is going to be helpful for both of you. In this video we will be talking about first two acts which were passed by the British government before independence, and they laid the foundation of the British rule over India. The first one is the Regulating Act of 1773, and the second one is the Pitt's India Act of 1784. But before starting our video for the day, the lecture for the day, I will request you all to subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed so far, and if you like, please share it and like it with your friends. Okay, so let's start today's topic. The first topic that we will be talking about is the Regulating Act of 1773. Regulating Act, as the name suggests, it was passed by the British government in the year 1773 to regulate the company affairs in India. Before this, the company was free to administer the areas that it has taken over in India according to its own rules and regulations. But when in 1765, when the Battle of Buxar happened and the company got a big territory, a huge territory and a huge area to control for both civil and military affairs, then the British government or the British Parliament considered it necessary to pass some regulation and to control somehow the affairs of the company in India. So that's why it is termed as the Regulating Act, and it was the first time that the British Parliament did that. So it was the first step by the British government to control the company affairs in India. Okay, three words are important: control, passed by British, and the first step. Okay, then it was the first time through this method, the first time the whole company rule in India, it was recognized by the British authorities or the British Parliament. It recognized the political and administrative function of the company in India. Okay, so if you say that till 1857 the British Parliament has no role in the rule of India and in the government of India, it is not true. Okay, so here you can see that they recognized the company's rule in India, and in the next act you will be aware of a different and new fact as well, and it will change your mindset about this story that till 1857 the British Parliament had no control over Indian affairs. Okay, so after that, it laid the foundation of the central administration in India. Okay, with this act, the administration in India started to be centralized in the hands of a supreme authority in India, of a supreme power in India. Okay, it was a representation of the British government, and you may be knowing that when the area under British control started to expand, all these areas were divided into three sections, three parts mainly, and they were controlled by three different headquarters of the British, and they were called the presidencies. So the first one was the Madras presidency, then it was Bombay presidency, and then the Bengal presidency. Of these three, the Bengal presidency was the most powerful one because of the two battles that it had fought under Clive. The first one was the Battle of Plassey in 1757, and the second one was the Battle of Buxar. So, Battle of Plassey in 1757 and Battle of Buxar in 1764. Okay, these two battles were very important in the affairs in the Indian expansion of the British rule. Okay, so after 1764 battle, the presidency of Bengal became very much powerful. So the governor of Bengal, he was recognized, he was, I can say that, promoted to a new position named as Governor General. Okay, so the governor of Bengal was now named as Governor General of Bengal, not India. Okay, that you should remember. He was the Governor General of Bengal, not the Governor General of India, and he used to govern the whole territory of India. not just Bengal. And the governors of two other presidencies, the Bombay and the Madras, they were made subordinate to him. They had to take his permission to perform their duties. Okay, so the Governor General of Bengal was made as the legitimate supreme authority for the company administration in India. Okay, we have talked about the next topic, next point, that is the governors of Bombay and Madras presidencies who were independent initially. They were made subordinate to the Governor General of Bengal. Okay, now coming to the next topic. It said that the same act, Regulating Act of 1773, it provided for a Supreme Court at Calcutta. So the first time that the concept of a Supreme Court in India was introduced by the British government in the year 1773, and this Supreme Court used to have one chief justice and three other judges. And it came into existence in 1774. Okay, now this one. This act also prohibited the members or the employees of the company from receiving the gifts or any type of money or present from the natives of India. You should remember that it's only natives. That means they were free to get and to receive anything from the Europeans who were living in India. Okay, just from the natives they couldn't. Okay, so with Europeans they were free. The governing body of the company, which was called as Court of Directors. Okay, in the next act that we will be talking about, you will be hearing about two terms: the Board of Control and the Court of Directors. So be clear that Court of Directors was actually the governing body of the company, and they were asked to report the matters of their revenue, civil and military affairs to the British government. So keep in your mind that through the Regulating Act of 1773, after this act, the East India Company was not at all independent. They had to report everything to the British government. Okay. So after this, now we will be talking about another act, which is the Pitt's India Act of 1784. Okay, in between another act was passed, but it was very small, and it was just to correct some mistakes that had been taken place that had happened in the 1773 Act. So the major act is 1784. This 1784 Act, the first thing that it did, it distinguished between the commercial and the political affairs of the company. Okay. Now this commercial affairs was left to the Court of Directors. In the last slide, we came to know that the Court of Directors was actually to control the company affairs. So they were left with the commercial affairs, and a new body was set up, which was called as Board of Control, to look after the political affairs. Okay, and this was called the system of joint government or the dual control. Now there is another concept in Indian history that you should be clear of. There is one thing which is called dual government, and there is one thing which is called diarchy. This is not diarchy. This is dual government and not diarchy. Diarchy is something else, which is related to Lord Clive, okay, and the Battle of Plassey and Buxar. Okay, so this system was called the joint government system or the dual government system. Okay, the Board of Control and Court of Directors. Now, the Board of Control could overpower all civil and military operations in India. This Board of Control, which was a new body set up over there, they could overpower all civil and military operations in India or revenues. So, civil, military, revenue operations of the British possessions in India, they were they came under the control of this board of control. And this board of control was created. This board was made of 6 people. Okay. First, Chancellor of Exchequer, he was the member. The Secretary of State was a member, and there were 4 other Privy Councillors who were nominated by the King. So all these 6 people, they were actually from the Britain, and this board of control was not in India; it was in Britain. Okay. In next slide, we will be talking about some another aspects of it. But here, just should be clear that this board of control was there in England, and it consists of the Chancellor of the Exchequer and the Secretary of State and 4 Privy Councils who were nominated by the King or the Queen, also the Crown. Now, the Secretary of State who was made, he was actually the President of the Board of Control, the Secretary of State. The members in the Governor General's Council was reduced from 4 to 3. So in the 1773 Act, we came to know that there were 4 members, but now it was reduced to just 3. And the Governor General now, he was given the right of casting vote. Now this is very important fact. Casting vote. It can be asked in UPSC and the state services as well. Okay, so the casting vote right to the Governor General of Bengal, it was given through the Pitt's India Act of 1784. Now, besides this, a secret committee was also formulated, which had 3 directors, and the secret committee was actually like a link between Board of Control and Court of Directors. So it was passing the message of the Board of Control to the Court of Directors, to the Indian government here. Okay. And that was called a secret committee, and it had 3 members, 3 directors. And for the first time, the company's property in India, it was termed as British possessions in India. That means that it was legally now controlled by British. That's very important. With the Act of 1784, they called all the company properties in India as the British possessions. That means it was not the property of the company now. It was the property of the British government now. So be clear with the fact that it was not the year 1858 that India was India was controlled by the British. India started to be controlled by the British right from 1784, but it was not directly, it was through East India Company. So you can say that company ruled on India, but you cannot write it anywhere. But just to understand, the company rule in India was from 1600 to 1784. Just for the information, you can write these things in mains, but you cannot answer the questions in prelims on the basis of these analysis. So from 1600 to 1784, it was EIC ruling, but it started from 1784 to 1947 that the government rule on us, the British government. That's important. So that was it for today's video. If you have not subscribed to the channel, if you like the video, if you like the information and like the efforts, please do like and share our video, and please, yes, do subscribe to our channel. It matters a lot for us. Your subscriptions do matter a lot. And then besides this, there are some other information for all of you who are watching this video. We are running our 2 Telegram channels. One is for the UPPSC 2020 and one is for the UPSC 2020 Civil Services Examination. So for the people who are preparing for the Uttar Pradesh Public Service Commission State Services Examination 2020, you can join our Telegram channel. The name of channel is UPPSC 2020. You can search in the search box on Telegram, or if you want, you can click the link. This is our link. You can click on this link to join our channel. Here for UPSC, we are also running the UPSC CCSC 2020. The name of the channel is this, which can be searched, or you can click on the link to join our channel. So we are waiting for you guys. Please do come to our Telegram channel, watch the video, subscribe to the channel to prepare for civil services examination in a better way. We will be sharing different other materials for the civil services examination. Till then, continue with your study and best of luck for your next endeavors. Thank you all. Love you all.